Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? We made it to Friday. All right, I'm going to try something different today with this dry erase board. Let's see how it works. All right, so today is March 27th, 2020. All right, I'm going to show you number one in our problem set. The problem reads, Mr. Yoshi has 75 papers. He graded 60 papers. And he has a student teacher grade the rest. What percent of the papers did each person grade? All right, so again, we're thinking about parts and we're thinking about wholes. So I want you to ask yourself, how many total papers does Yoshi have? How many whole papers does he have? If you said 75, then I would give you a raffle ticket, right? So what does that mean to you? If he only graded 60, that means he only graded part of it, right? So now we got that figured out. We're always making everything. Remember from our test a few months ago, I said you can throw everything in a ratio table. So let's make a table. Okay? So here's the thing. We're looking for a percent. We're not looking for a part. We're not looking for a whole, right? We're looking for a percentage. So if the top percent that you could get, if the whole percent that you could get is 100, then you know it has to go here. Because this is going to be our final stop in the journey of this problem, right? 100%. So now I go back to what I determined before. I knew that 60 was the part of the papers that Yoshi graded, right? And I knew that 75 was the whole of the papers that Yoshi graded. So now we know that you can't get from 75 to 100. So what does that tell you? You got to figure out a friendly number. Now 75 and 100 is a beautiful thing because it always reminds me of monies. It reminds me of quarters, right? So if I'm thinking to myself, how many quarters are in 75 cents? I'm just going to say 3. Right? Because I got to get to a friendly number to get to 100. All right? And what you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So I'm dividing 60 by 3 as well. Okay? So 75 divided by 3. If you can't figure that out off the top of your head, just say, how many quarters are in 75 cents? 3. How much is 1 quarter worth? 25. So 75 divided by 3 is 25. Now, I know you can all do your quick maths and do 60 divided by 3, and that's 20. Right? So now you're asking yourself, how can I get from 25 to 100? Well, let's just say quarters again, right? How many quarters are in $1? 4. Right? Golden rule, what you do to the bottom, you do to the top, times 4. So this is telling me right now that since Yoshi graded 60 papers, he graded 80% of the papers, right? So if Yoshi graded 80% of the papers, percents are out of 100, what percent was the student teacher? How much percent of the grade of the papers did he grade? Well, what's left over? 80, 100 minus 80 is 20. So Yoshi graded 80% and the student teacher graded 20. All right, boys and girls, I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you do well today. Remember, if you have any questions, just ask them in our Google Classroom. Please check in with me so I can mark you present for the day, all right? Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.